Hi, I'm Mark Donovan from HomeEditionPlus.com, and today I'm going to show you how to install baseboard trim. So the first place we're going to start is in this corner. We'll attach a straight section of baseboard trim, and then have a smaller section that goes along this wall where we have a coped edge that will feed into this strip of baseboard. So the first thing I did is I painted the 3.5-inch baseboard trim with a semi-gloss finish that's the same color paint as the paint on the wall itself. I then square cut each end of the board to the appropriate length, and I've also made some marks on the floor with some masking tape where the studs are. We'll attach this to the wall. We've got to make sure that we nail this in to the wall studs. If we nail this into just the drywall, it won't hold. To fasten the baseboard trim to the wall, I'm using a finished nail gun with 16 gauge 2.5-inch nails. I find these work better. They leave a smaller hole, easier to fill, and it really does a neater job. And now with the nails in, we can simply remove the masking tape and we're ready to move on to the next piece. So for this next piece that we're going to put in, we need to cope this edge so that it slides up and over against this piece of baseboard mortar that we just put in. We use a coping saw to make that cut. And then after that, we just cut off the back end to the length to butt up against our heating element. So to make the coping cut, I have a small section of material and I lay it on the back side of the material that I want to cut, simulating how the other board will slide into it. Then I take a pencil and I trace it. Now that I've made the mark, we'll then cut this out with the coping saw. And then this piece will slide up against and up and over the existing wall piece. So again, using my coping saw, I'm cutting along the line that I traced out on the section of material. For the straight portion, I just use a standard hand miter saw and I cut along the straight line, trying to back cut so that the forward edge or the outside edge is actually sticking out slightly further than the back edge. This ensures a nice tighter seam with the corner. Now with the seam or the edge cut or coped, we'll lightly sand it. So with the coped edge cut, we'll just lightly sand to smooth out the edges. And then we'll be ready to nail it up. And that's it. We'll put a little bit of wood filler in here, caulk along the top, and then lightly paint over, and we'll be all set. So we're continuing to make our way around the room installing the baseboard trim. Again, basically it's a square edge flat piece on both sides, followed by a coped edge on the butting up edge. And we just work our way around the room. One little trick I'll show you in terms of wires. We ran some speaker wire, and I've made a little bit of a dimple, if you will, inside the base of the trim, just using a drill bit. And now my wire can sit neatly underneath that and then can feed into the stereo system. So you may want to think about that. And then this, again, will butt up and we'll nail it. And we're just about done. After this, we'll, again, fill the nail holes, caulk along the top of the seam, and then touch up paint. And all we have to do now is put another section here with the scarf joint. This is a 45-degree angle cut. We'll put another one with the opposite 45-degree angle to make a nice clean scarf joint. And what we're doing here is adding a latex/silicone caulk to the top of the baseboard trim to make a nice seal with the main wall. We'll put down a slight bead and then we go back and wipe it off with a damp rag. Now we're filling in the nail holes with a little spackle and a putty knife. And then we'll lightly go over them with a damp cloth after they dry to smooth it all down. So that's it. All we're doing here now is touching up the baseboard trim with a little bit of the paint that we applied in the first coat. And this project's done. If you have any other home improvement questions, visit us at HomeEditionPlus.com today.